Hey guys, real quick, only 40% of our viewers are actually subscribed, so let's change that right now. Hit that subscribe button right below. Let's go Sunday Night Football. Pittsburgh Steelers at the Los Angeles Chargers. It's Sunday night, 8:20 Eastern. Waiting all day for this one. Chargers by 3, and the over-under is 45.5. Should be a terrible towel, big-time Steelers crowd out there in L.A.
They travel.
What are we looking for in this one? The Steelers, by the way, 5-3. Chargers 6-3. They haven't had a bye yet, and so it's a battle for, Pittsburgh's in front, obviously in the AFC North right now. But if, as Vegas expects, the Ravens are going to start making a run here, if Pittsburgh does not win the division, this game has massive playoff implications.
Huge wild card implications. It's we were trying to kind of game out what this would look like before the show. Obviously, Pittsburgh last week was the classic Mike Tomlin game. They had disappointed the last couple of times, and then they go out against the Colts team that looked like an absolute juggernaut and dominated. At least, 6 turnovers, etc. Like, they get the win. Now you're like, well, what does that do against the Chargers, who are, they're a good team in terms of record, but they're so banged up on this offensive line. They're trading for Trevor Penning, Joe Alt out again. The offensive line's already deep into the bench, and every time they go really deep into the bench, it does cause major problems for Justin Herbert and that offense. And for the first time, really, this season, Pittsburgh's defensive line looked like the team we thought they would coming into this year, with that trio of edge rushers that they can deploy, as well as interior pressure and all those kinds of things. I mean, logically, this should be an absolute beatdown for Pittsburgh's defensive line, just ripping apart that Chargers offensive line. Will it be?
Yeah. I mean, I agree. I mean, it goes back to the Tomlin question, like how the ebbs and flows of the season, right? You pull the upset against the Colts after a couple disappointing games, particularly the Bengals game a few weeks ago.
Yeah.
What do you do in this type of game against? Did he have any tells at his press conference? I need Tomlin tells, like the presser that he does on a Monday or Tuesday, whenever that is, early in the week.
Like when he was mad about having to face Joe Flacco.
Right. You're either afraid of Joe Flacco or you give like a little wink in the gun about the Colts offense. Like, I got it. It's like he just knows. I wonder what he knows about the Chargers. The Titans last week caused all sorts of issues up front for the Chargers. Herbert still had to make some big throws down the field, and he did. But they caused all sorts of problems up front. And the Titans don't have a great pass rush. They'll use some sim pressures and everything, but sacked Herbert, 5 times last week, and just had some O-line collapsing type of rushes. That would be the concern, even if Herbert does create some big plays. And look, Pittsburgh secondary has given them up. Their back seven has had some issues. Aronde Gadsden, if he's working the middle of the field with the miscommunications that the Steelers linebackers have had, could be a thing. The other thing to keep an eye on, though, was it Jalen Ramsey playing free safety? Was that the trigger? Was that the thing that has turned the Steelers around? The same way, Kyle Hamilton, you just switch his position and it changes everything. We're only 1 week into this thing. But Jalen Ramsey playing free safety last week did coincide with the Steelers having their best game, I'd say, relative to their competition defensively. Is that the big difference for Pittsburgh?
I mean, they had 2 new safeties, right? They put Jalen Ramsey back at safety, and then Kyle Duggar, who they just brought in, played basically the entire game. I think he missed 1 snap in the entire thing. So they completely shifted their safety duo for that game. I think that obviously made an impact, but I think the big difference was that defensive line showed up for the first time really in anger and absolutely wrecked shop the way we were expecting them to all season long. This is it's the type of game where they should eat. I mean, there's no reason that defensive line wouldn't beat the living crap out of what the Chargers are able to deploy right now. And if they do that, like Justin Herbert has to basically be superhuman to keep them level in this game. And he has done that for various parts of the season. I mean, you said you're going to make the show all about the scrack this week.
Bring it.
Herbert is that's what his breakdown looks like. He's losing an absolute boatload in terms of sack EPA, only 2 quarterbacks worse. But is he first? No, second, behind only Josh Allen in terms of scramble EPA. So, I mean, think of all those plays. Like, think about what he was doing against Flores' defense and the Vikings. Like, every time they thought they had him shut down, he would just take off and make a play scrambling. Herbert scrambling has been absolutely huge so far this season. And the only concern is, what if he gets hurt? Not hurt to the point where he's out of the game, but like, what if he just gets banged up? He's been banged up a lot in his career. He's been, very injured for a lot of it, and he's played through a lot of that, but it obviously diminishes him. And you only worry about that because he's dealing with such a crappy offensive line. You're like, that he's going to take hits, and eventually, does one of those hits break something.
Then Pittsburgh's offense on the other side of the ball, they're averaging 25 points a game, which is, I think that's usually like top 7 or 8 in the NFL. That's 12th right now, tied with Baltimore, because if you're not following the NFL trends, plays are way down. I heard our friend Dean Blandino talking about this on a secret call yesterday. Plays are down about 5 plays per game, I think, total, but a lot of that's coming from scrimmage plays. But points are up, right? It's the field position stuff. It's the kickoff. It's more illegal contact penalties. It's the kicking game, right? There's points are way up. So Pittsburgh's averaging 25 points per game. Here's a stat, though. The lowest points yards per point. So they're picking up fewer yards for the points that they're scoring. Why is that happening? Because Pittsburgh field position, right? Because Pittsburgh last week they're setting up at their own 11, at their own 7 after turnovers. New England game turnovers.
The opposing 11 and 7.
Yeah,
not their own.
They're the Indy. Sorry, the Indy 10, 11, whatever it was. They had was it the Seattle game? They had a couple turnovers in their own where they got the ball in Seattle territory. So Pittsburgh's offense has been interesting because I think they do a great job in the red zone, throwing to the big dudes, throwing to DK, throwing to Darnell Washington. But when they have to sustain drives, it's been very inconsistent for Pittsburgh, going up against a Chargers team that usually makes you sustain drives, right? Hit the underneath stuff, make good decisions, try not to give up too much over the top. So interesting matchup on that side as well. If the Chargers are unable if the Chargers can at least take care of the ball, even if there's some negative plays for Herbert, take some sacks or whatever it might be. If the Chargers just don't turn it over, we might be looking at like a 19-17 fist fight that, Pittsburgh generally likes to play in.
Yeah. I think the Chargers offense is also capable of being pretty explosive as well. And that would be a thing that could keep them alive in the game as well. Like, Herbert with his scrambling buys them a lot of extended drives, and then you need to hit the big shots every now and again. They're capable of doing that as well. Yeah, the Steelers offense, it's a weird offense because I don't think it's terrifying anybody, but they have been pretty efficient with the opportunities that they've been given. Rodgers, I don't think you would say he's playing well, but it's kind of like Rodgers and the Steelers this year are actually sort of like they're sort of justifying what everyone said about the Jets last year. It's like Rodgers actually isn't playing terribly. It's just that everything around him isn't working. Now the stuff around him is working better, and I don't know that he's playing any better than he was a year ago, but the results are far better because it's Pittsburgh, not the Jets.
Yes. And, they're opportunistic, and the defense steps up when they need to. It's an interesting season so far for the Steelers right now. Huge game, 5-3 against 6-3. Sunday Night Football. Where are you leaning on this one?
I'm trying to. This is one of those ones where I'm trying to be too clever for myself. I'm trying to second guess what the Mike Tomlin magic is going to be, and I assume after a phenomenal performance against a team they weren't supposed to beat, they're going to lay an egg against a team they should destroy up front. So therefore, the Chargers will win and cover at home.
Jim Harbaugh factor here.
Right, at home, by the way, which will be like a Pittsburgh home game because Steelers travel, Chargers don't have fans. Like it's all set up for a ridiculous Chargers win.
I'm going to go Pittsburgh now. I just switched it. Harry's taking the Chargers. I'm going to paint this picture of it's Sunday Night Football. Chris is raving about how good the Steelers travel. He's going to mention the cab driver in Pittsburgh that he's got to know the backup tight end so that the cab driver's happy in Pittsburgh, and the terrible towels are coming out, and it's like an electric Pittsburgh atmosphere as they pull the upset against the Chargers, like 20-17 or something. So I'll take the Steelers.
Mm-hmm.
And Harry's taking the Chargers. See if I'm right on this one, the Pittsburgh prediction this week.
Thanks for watching all the way to the end of the video.
Check the Mic is live Monday, Wednesday, and Thursday, so be sure to hit subscribe so you don't miss a video.
You heard the man. Subscribe.